Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my corner of the internet. My name is Jason, and today we're playing some Distant Worlds Universe. If you want to see how this game was, we'll say, set up, this current, we'll say, scenario, go ahead and check out part 0 in the previous video in this series. Alright, to get things started, we are blue screen because, why not? We are a human race. And basically we are Standard Empire in the Age of Shadows. Pirates, smugglers, and mercenaries rule the galaxy. Your empire is largely undeveloped, with no space technology. Before you can take to the stars, you must first research critical technology like hyperdrives and colonization. Meanwhile, pirates and others retain these key technologies and thus dominate galactic affairs. As a fledgling stellar empire, you must develop the technologies you need while manipulating pirates and smugglers to work for you. So basically, the story in the game, for this game here, is basically, there was we'll say, a cataclysm event. Basically, everyone got blasted back to the Stone Age, or something to that extent. I'm not entirely sure. I'm not, we'll say, privy to the exact details of that. But we'll say a lot of the survivors have made a living as, pirates and smugglers and stuff. So the pirates start off technologically superior to you. Well, we'll see more about that in a bit. What I'm going to do is as soon as I hit start playing, I'm going to pause the game, and I'm actually going to save the game as, we'll say, like a game start. And then basically I like to save the game right at the start, especially if I like the settings. That way there I can just go ahead and load them again. Alright, so the game is saved, and we're gonna go ahead and take a look around. This is our planet. It's Sol 1. It is a continental planet, and let's see the quality of the planet. Okay, so basically this is your size of the planet. Right now it says 29.6K, which is a fairly large planet. And quality is 85%. It's alright, but it's not one of, we'll say, the better planets. Resources available on this planet are gold, chromium, polymer, carbon fiber, and necrostone. That's actually pretty good, although there's no steel. Now, I'm going to go ahead and double-click on the name here, and we're just going to take a look at our planet before we examine a little some other things. So this is basically our colony screen. We can go ahead and take a look at all the colonies that we might have in our empire. And here's sort of an overview of the galaxy, and we're here at this point, right there. Now, first thing we can do is actually, I like to go ahead and rename my planets. If you have some suggestions for planet names, or yeah, go ahead and leave them in the, we'll say, the comment section, and I may use them. I may use them throughout, we'll say, the course of the game, naming various things, because I like that about this game. You can rename a lot of things and really, truly make it your own. So, Sol 1, we're gonna call this, actually, I'm actually gonna ask you guys if you have any suggestions. For now, I'm just gonna keep it at Sol 1. Yep, we're gonna leave it at Sol 1. If you guys have a decent suggestion of what our home planet should be called, let me know. Alright, I find our tax rate is probably a little bit too high. Now, it's at 21%. Right now they're saying the tax is too high. We see their happiness here with the little happy face, or the, I don't know, apathetic face, the not so happy face. We'll say with a plus 10 beside it. And basically what this will do with such a high tax rate is, we'll say, reduce our growth rate. And we want to be able to grow, especially early in the game here. And right now we have our populace, which is humans, and we have, what is it, about 3 billion? So 3 billion people, and our growth rate is at about 5%. So we're going to go ahead and drop the tax rate down to, I'm probably going to put it down to about, 2% for now. Yeah, 2% for now. And that will raise, we'll say, the population growth rate. Alright, so that is this. Now I'm going to go ahead and look at cargo. And this shows what kind of resources we have on the planet. So these are the resources that we can mine from this planet, and this is what we actually have. Now, that's one thing I really like about this game, is it actually has, we'll say, a pretty decent, we'll say, like a logistics system in the game. You need to actually transport materials around the galaxy to construct things. Your ships, they all require various of these components. In fact, the ships also require fuel to get around. Early game fuel is Kazlon, and as you can see right here, we have, what is that, about 30,000 units of it? So basically we have these resources, we're going to want to get them, and we're going to want to create sort of a network where our resources are distributed throughout our we'll say throughout the galaxy, throughout our empire, to make sure that we've got the necessary resources to, continue to build and grow. And once again, here it shows us our resources, and we'll say the rate at which we can, we'll say, earn all of them. We'll talk about troops and characters in a second, and we have our construction here. Now, the first thing I like to do is go ahead and build a spaceport. So we're going to go ahead and build a, I'm going to go with a small spaceport to start with. Actually, you know what? No. Should I go with a large right off the bat? I've only got 21,000. You know, we're going to go ahead with a small spaceport off the bat. We can go ahead and upgrade that later on to, you know, medium or large, but we're going to keep things simple. We're going to build a spaceport. And what the spaceport will allow us to do is construct, you know, various ships like military ships or, since we don't really have the technologies for that yet, you know, like exploration ships, which will help us, we'll say, explore our own solar system, and once we get, you know, like hyperdrive technology, you know, the rest of the stars. So we're gonna build a spaceport, and I'm also going to queue up a construction ship. Construction ships are also very important, so we're gonna go ahead and purchase one of those as well. And that brings my available funds down to about 15 grand. All right. Next thing I was going to look at is basically our character screen. Throughout your empire, you have various characters, and this list will grow. Right now, we have our current leader, and these guys can be renamed as well. So if you've got some suggestions for maybe different character names, go ahead and you know, leave those in the comment section. Please, nothing, we'll say, vulgar or you know, distasteful. I will automatically throw those out. But if you got some cool ideas for, we'll say, leader names or intelligence agent names, actually no, yes, any name, just leave it there. So basically, right now our leader is Tiku Bendu, and let's see, population growth. He gives a bonus of plus 4%, and he's also got he's got 2 traits here, which are also applying these other modifiers. So colony happiness is minus 10. Why is that? Because the guy is measured. Okay. But what that does is it also reduces corruption. So basically, they don't like how, we'll say, anal the guy is about things, but as a result, corruption is a lot lower. And it also helps with diplomacy. So that's cool. Intelligence agents, we don't know about any other factions yet, so that's not going to be really important. But we got one guy who's looks like he's good at espionage, and one guy who looks like he's good at counter-espionage. So that's not bad to start. Right now, it's showing you know, question mark percentage because their skills have not been tested yet. You know, that's what they can do, but we don't know how good the skills are yet. So that's why it's still kind of a question. We need to actually start using these guys to figure out what they are actually good at. Ambassador, you know, we don't have another planet to go to. So he's unknown. Intelligence agent, same thing. But our leader, you know, he's already established the current colony, so, you know, we know this is what he can do. Alright, so let's go ahead and, before we unpause the game, I've already queued up some building. I want to look at research. Now, research in this game is actually, it's both complex and simple. Actually, the whole game can be described as complex and simple. And I'll explain in a bit. If you feel like it's a little overwhelming and this is not a game for you, just hold on a second. I'm going to show something a little bit later that might change your mind. Alright, so first things first. What I like to go for, like it's going for missiles. I don't want to go for missiles. First things first for me is always some sort of self-defense, so like protection. So I go for armor plating. Because in early game, your ships are so fragile, like, basically you take a shot, it's going to damage the components on the ship, it's going to wreck everything. So getting armor plating early, for me, is a must. After armor plating, let's see here, because we're still under the weapon section, there's actually 3 areas of technology that you study at the same time. So for weapons, we're going to want armor plating first, and then I'm thinking we will probably go with the enhanced missiles. Actually, is probably not a bad idea. So we'll go ahead and queue that up to be the second technology that we go ahead and research, and then we'll play it by ear from there. Because sometimes as you're playing the game, you'll discover, well, you know, maybe this technology here will be more beneficial to my expansion and all that. All right. Under energy and construction, we are researching shields. Yes, I'm leaving that. Shields are immensely important. I tried to do a shieldless run once with just using armor, and I got wrecked. So you are probably going to need shields, or maybe I just didn't put enough armor on my ships. Alright, now we've got warp field precursors, but you can't research that yet. It must be enabled through exploration, so you can't start the game off with a warp field. You actually have to find, we'll say, a little bit of knowledge to get you kick-started on that research. So that's kind of why what I'm going to do is address that on the next tab. All right. So what I actually really want after shields, I'm probably going to end up going for the warp field precursors. But if I happen to not get, we'll say what I need to get the warp field precursors in time, I might go ahead with, we'll say, space construction. And this basically comes down to how big you can make your ships. When you start the game off, you have a ship size of 160. And we'll look at ship design a little bit later. I'll actually try to start the game off, and then, like I said, we'll cover different elements as are needed. Right now, though, this is the start of the game, so I think it's important to get our research goals set. I'm going to go ahead and increase space construction, because that will increase our ship size up to at least 230. Because, you know, if you have a bunch of really small ships, they're going to get chewed apart by the larger, especially the pirate ships early on. Now, high-tech and industrial. Like I said, we want to explore, right? We want... That's an important thing. We want to be able to explore quickly and maybe find that stuff to be able to jumpstart our journey to the stars. So, it's likely that we'll discover everything in our system before we get a lot of the other technologies, but I like going for storage systems. Transport systems is actually very important, but maybe not right now. I'm actually going to cancel transport systems and go for storage systems. And what this does is basically, like I mentioned before, all the ships require fuel. And basically this means here that each storage container has a capacity of, what, let me see here, like 55. And by going ahead and amping it up to 65, it'll allow our ships to carry more fuel. So with the fuel cell that we'll be using, so that will allow us to fly farther, allow us to explore further. So yeah, I'm gonna go for that. I also want to actually try to get colonization fairly early, but maybe not. We'll say extremely early. I'm not sure what I actually want after storage systems. A lot of the we'll say the steps that you take after. In this area here, I find it's very conditional. You know, as the game plays out, I might say, you know what, no, I need this. Oh, no, I need this. So just for now, I like to queue up at least one technology, so we're gonna go ahead and queue up... we'll queue up colonization for kicks. Yep. And the reason why I like to queue up things... Actually, no, we'll queue up transport systems. Is because... when it's done researching some technology, it'll automatically jump onto the next one, and if you don't have another thing queued, there's no prompt. You basically just sit there wasting research energy, which is all detailed in here under research stations. So basically, our current research capacity, I don't know what time frame these are for. Basically, it shows us, you know, we have 14k towards weapons, 14k towards energy, 14k towards high tech, and if you actually look at the stuff we're researching, you know, it says project size 480k. I don't know if that is, you know, we're building towards that 480k with 14k per year, or I don't know what the time frame is for that 14k, but anyways, this will go up. We will advance that, and we'll be able to research a little bit quicker. Alright, so that's done. We're done with research. Let's go ahead and, actually, we'll go ahead and just start the game. Actually, before we start the game, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I want to look at the options menu. Reason being, if the game feels too overwhelming for you, if you feel like there's too much, there's a lovely thing called automation. You can actually have the game play itself for you. And while it's playing, you can just go ahead and start, you know, tinkering with this and tinkering with that, and, you know, putting a little bit of your input in here and there, and then you can slowly start taking over various elements of the Empire that, you know, maybe interest you more. And then you can go ahead and, you know, you can have the game sort of play for you and sort of ease your way into the game. And you can automate so much in this game. Like, there's this, but there's also your Empire policies, which dictate how the game will be actually automated. So if we go to Empire Policy screen, you can dictate, you know, if this is going to be automated, I want you to do it with this criteria. This is very cool. It that really allows you to, it really helps, we'll say, new players ease into the game. When I first started playing the game, I basically turned it on rule and absence, let the thing go, and watched how the computer played, and then made my own adjustments how I felt was better. For this, the way I like to play with everything off except for ship design. And the reason for that is I don't. There's a lot of different ships, and designing a lot of ships takes up a lot of time, and I feel like you make no progress. As it is, we're what, 16 minutes into this first episode, and there actually hasn't been any, we'll say, advancement on the clock. We've done a little bit of playing, obviously, but there's been no advancement on the clock. But ship design is very time consuming, and even if it's automated, like I said, I can go ahead and put my own input into it. If there's something I really want to design, I can switch that particular ship design to manual, and then I can control that, at least that one ship design. So we're gonna go ahead and unpause the game. Now, what I like to do, which I won't be doing for you guys, is you can actually hit minus and plus to speed up or slow down time. I like to have things right on, like, you know, 1/4 time. Let the game run really slow on like a second monitor while I do other stuff. This is a great in the background kind of game. But you know what? We're not going to be doing that for you guys. Actually, while they started construction, we're going to zoom out. I want to take a look at this universe. So it looks like we've got an asteroid field here. A metal asteroid. Okay, that's some cool. Looks like we've got some neat minerals over here, but we have some space slugs. So we're gonna have to watch out for those. We'll definitely need weapons before we go into this asteroid field. So there's our planet. Let's see, where are the other planets in our system? Oh, so we have a gas giant over here. That's named as Sol 3, and it looks like it has 2 moons and a small asteroid nearby as well. A couple other sort of gas giants. So that's probably where we're going to find our source of Kazlon, and they've got a lot of moons in here. A lot of barren rock moons, and we don't know what's on these planets yet. There's actually an abandoned ship here. We're gonna, if we could go ahead and explore that, we can go ahead and take it and repair it and use it for our own purposes. A lot of gas giants in our system. Actually, let's see, gas giants and barren rock moons. I don't think we really have any colonizable planets in our system. Oh, what's this? A desert planet. Okay, so if we go ahead and research, we'll say, colonization for desert planets, we will be able to build a colony on this planet down the road. So our current system, I think, only has one. An ice moon. Okay, if we get ice colonization, we've got 2 other planets in our system that we could go ahead and colonize. But you know, there's plenty of other stars we can go ahead and explore for that as well. And we got a little tiny planet here too. All right, so that's our system. And you'll notice there's these little, there's 3 squares next to a couple of these planets, and that notes that there are ruins, or there's something to explore on that planet. And you guessed it, that's how we get our warp field precursors, is we need to get an exploration ship down to these planets, explore them, and then that's how we can sort of jumpstart our research for hyperdrive technology. Alright, so let's go ahead and zoom out even further, because that is our planet, that's our sun, our moon, come on, Jason, our star! And we zoom out a little bit more, and we get, you know, a couple other stars, and a couple more stars, and a couple more stars, and then you realize this entire galaxy is just as detailed. Each world has its own resources, it may have its own moons, and that's what I love about this game. The scope, and the fact that it's in real time. You know, you don't have that one more turn aspect that you do in some other 4X games, but you definitely have, 5 more minutes, or, 1 more year on the game clock. And there's various other things to explore, like you've got a black hole here by the looks of things. It's an unknown black hole, which hasn't been explored. We can go maybe put research bases nearby to go ahead and take a look, or maybe even resort bases, so people can, enjoy the scenery of a black hole from the comfort of some space deck. Yeah. Alright. Alright, so things are building. We're gonna go ahead and accelerate things a little bit quicker. I didn't put things too fast on the start for a particular reason, but we'll get into that. So, this will only come up the first time we've done things, but I wanted to keep it on, so just because, it brings our attention to certain little things, especially we'll say narrative-based things, or story of the galaxy. So, we have constructed a spaceport. This large orbital base serves as a shipyard, allowing us to build many different types of starships. The construction of our new spaceport has galvanized the resolve of our population, providing a short-term boost to our economy. Our new spaceport also provides a hub for trade and commerce. Freighters will deliver cargo here, and ships can refuel here. As our technology progresses, we should upgrade our spaceport with other capabilities, shields and weapons for defense, research labs, sensors, and more. Yes, that's absolutely what we should do. Now, and when something happens, it will go ahead and place a notification up here at the top. All right, so we have our spaceport. Sorry there. We have our spaceport here, and the message actually mentioned freighters. And I think now is actually a good time to, we'll say, talk about our economy. The economy in this game is actually very cool. It's split into state and private. You have to, we'll say, manage your, we'll say, state economy as well as your private economy. These guys here, they basically pay for maintenance on mining bases, and they can buy their own ships, like freighters and stuff. They take care of all, we'll say, the cargo traveling. So you don't want to jack up your taxes really high, we'll say, just for your own sakes, for, you know, military and all that, and leave them with nothing, because they kind of are the backbone of your, we'll say, of your economy. But at the same time, you need to be able to protect them. So we have to find a nice balance. Right now, I'm going to leave the taxes nice and low so we can go ahead and grow, and they can build their own cash reserves, so that they can go ahead and, you know, get mining ships out there and stuff like that. But yeah, I really like the economy in this game. You know, if you are taking out, we'll say, enemy, we'll say, mining bases, you can really cripple their economy, because you can really mess with their we'll say, private sector, and whatever. We'll see that as the game progresses. So we'll go ahead and continue allowing things to advance. So right now the spaceport is built, and before it was, we'll notice our cash flow is actually in the negative right now. We're losing money. And that's okay. We still have a bit of a, we'll say, a stockpile, and as our, you know, our population grows, that we will turn that cash flow positive. But since we have this spaceport, I'm going to go ahead and build some new ships, namely exploration ships. Now, we can do that a few different ways. We can go ahead down here, and we can click on that and just choose, you know, the various ships that we can build. So I can go ahead and click on exploration ship twice to build a ship there. Alternatively, I could also double-click on the spaceport to bring up its screen under the ships and bases, and I can go to, like, construction yard and choose what kind of ship I want it to build. So I could go ahead and choose, you know, I could have chose exploration ship from here and hit purchase. And you can also set up the queue. You know, say you want something else built quicker, you can move it up and down the queue here. So we're gonna build some exploration ships so that we can go ahead and explore those planets with the ruins, so we can get our warp field precursors. Alright, and basically our starship has been constructed. We've constructed our first starship, the Nova of Sol. We can also rename the ships too, although I'm not sure if I'll want to name them because they might be getting destroyed fairly regularly, so maybe I'll only rename stuff like our big cruisers and that are part of fleets. This event marks the beginning of our return to the stars. We must continue to expand and explore our solar system, build more ships to establish a thriving solar empire. Alright, now, I have it set up so that by default, once a ship is constructed, it is set on automatic. It will go ahead and do what it was intended to do. Even though I have set everything set to basically to manual, ships basically, they can start off, we'll say, automated. And I like to leave that on and then just give them specific directions afterwards, typically. But for now, I'm actually going to go ahead and select our exploration ship, the Nova of Sol. And we have its stats down here. We have how much fuel it has, how much energy it has, its shields, which I have none right now, and its current speed. And I'm going to go ahead and tell it that I want it to explore this planet right here. So we're going to go ahead and tell it to explore this planet. And then we're going to unpause and let it go. And then it will fly down there and go ahead and explore that planet. And our construction ship has been completed. That's awesome. Because what that means is we can start building bases and stations, like mining stations, around our solar system as well. So I selected our other exploration ship, and I'm going to tell it to explore this moon, because this one also has ruins. Now, you'll notice that because I gave it an order, it switched it off of automatic. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hit A, or I can just click here, this arrow, to switch it back to automatic. But what that will do is it will make it so that after he's completed his current mission, he will go back to being automated. And that's kind of what I want to do. Now, we had a little notification come up on the side of the screen, and basically it's right up here. We can also click on message history to bring it up, and basically our scientists have been pursuing the wrong path while researching shields. This mistake has set back progress on the project as existing research is cancelled and new ideas are investigated. So basically, research is not always strictly, you know, you're advancing. Research can be, you know, you're making progress, and then all of a sudden, you know what, we've been going the wrong path, this is just not feasible, it doesn't work, and then your research, you know, you get setbacks. Alternatively, you can also make major breakthroughs, which will advance things as well. So research, you know, it kind of it goes up, it goes down. Now, what you can do is you can also, if you really need research quickly and you have a lot of money, you can initiate crash projects. And that means that you can use your money to increase the speed at which these different technologies are researched. So I could go into under the research screen and double click on, we'll say maybe shields, to go ahead and increase the speed. However, I've only got 11 grand. That is not enough to put it into crash research. It usually costs quite a bit. Our economy is in no condition to be throwing money at research just yet. We'll get there. We will get there. Actually, on the topic of research, we'll look at that really quick. You'll notice that since we built the spaceport, we've also gotten a bonus of plus, we'll say 30k to each category, which has brought up our total actual output to 35k on each category. So we're still well under our total research potential. We'll need to advance that. So actually, why don't we do that? What I can do is right here at Sol 1, we're gonna go ahead under the construction yard and we're gonna build research stations in orbit. We're gonna build an energy research station. I think I got the money for this. Yes, I do. And we're gonna build a high-tech research station, and we're gonna build a weapons research station. And these are additional bases that will be up in orbit, and you can see where they're going to be planted. That will help us, we'll say, advance our technology a little bit quicker. You can get other bases as well, like orbital batteries, like defensive bases and all that. But we are not. We don't have the technologies to do that just yet. Alright, constructing a research station gives a huge boost to our research efforts, allowing us to achieve technology breakthroughs faster. A new scientist has also appeared at this new research station. Darus Nothris. Alright, so we've got a scientist now. And let's go ahead to the character screen and take a look at this scientist. What is he giving our empire? This is our new scientist, and basically, he's an ultra genius and creative. Increases the research output of your empire by 20%. Creative increases the chance of a critical research success or failure. But, okay. So basically, our research is going to be a lot more all over the place, but it means that our research output of our empire is actually plus 20, which is actually pretty great. But he sucks at high-tech research. And which station is he on? He's on Sol Station. So that would be... there was one right there. We'll take a look at the research in just a second. Alright, I mentioned pirates before. Well, here we go. We have our first pirate encounter. Greetings to our victims. You may have noticed that we are about to attack you, but for the small price of 365 credits per month, ouch! We could avoid this unnecessary violence. Of course, you really should have paid up sooner. Now that our attack is underway, we have no choice but to increase our prices. So are you ready to pay up now? Alright, so basically... the pirates, they will mop the floor with our empire right now. They will destroy everything we have built up until now. They will blow us back to the Stone Age. So, we really don't have much choice. We're going to go ahead and accept the protection, quote unquote, you know. It's kind of like the whole mobster thing, you know. You're paying us for protection from us. So we're going to go ahead and pay them off. And we're probably going to be paying them for quite a while we still build up our technologies. But we will have, we'll have contact with a pirate faction, which will help with our development. So we're going to go ahead and accept the protection pay. It's going to really drive our cash flow into the negative, but hopefully we can sort of mitigate a bit of that. Excellent! We will ensure that your ships do not suffer any unfortunate accidents until our next fee is due. Alright, bye! And his ship is right there. It's an escort class ship, and he's taking off. Right, we have avoided a pirate raid on our homeworld Sol 1. In the past, there were rumors of secret visits from star travelers, but recently these visitors from the stars have begun to appear openly. Some are hostile, taking whatever they want by force. Others come in peace and trade. Ancient legends speak of a time when our own ancestors once traveled amongst the stars, but with the great forgetting, all this knowledge was lost. Many of our people say that now is the time for us to return to the stars. With the technology we have acquired from some of our stellar visitors, it should be possible to once again become a star-faring civilization. It says, we've acquired from some of our stellar visitors. I don't know what it means by that, because if I go ahead and pause and we look at our research, I'm wondering if, I don't know exactly what that phrase is supposed to mean, because, actually, where is our, yeah, we still can't get warp field precursors. And we were already in the star, so I'm not sure what that meant, but we've basically avoided a catastrophe here, because that ship would have came in and it would have wrecked it would have wrecked this research station that was being built. This one here that was built, it would have destroyed our space center, starport, the spaceport. There we go. All right, and our leader Chico Bendu has acquired a new character trait, famous. And what will that do for our empire? Character trait. Oh wait, leader. Being famous increases colony happiness by 10 and our tourism income. So we might want to maybe throw some of our resources later in the game into tourism, so that you know, we can benefit from his bonus. But also, that's nice that it's increased our colony happiness, because now we can go ahead and increase our taxes a little bit more without them becoming so upset. Speaking of taxes. We're gonna go ahead and increase our taxes. What I like to do, this is not really, we'll say, a well-defined strategy or anything, but I tend to look at the value. And for every 100k of value, I like to put 2% towards taxes, up to maybe a maximum of about 20. And that kind of allows my, we'll say, tax rate to sort of grow organically as the population grows, and it allows me to, we'll say, mitigate a little bit of that early game, we'll say, money hemorrhaging due to the pirates. Because as you can see right now, we are paying the pirates, pirate protection, 4k. So 4,000 a year, roughly, just to, you know, not be destroyed. Yay! Alright, and one of the exploration ships has discovered the city of Sol. We have discovered the city of Sol, ancient ruins from a lost civilization at the desert planet Akigari in the Sol system. Our orbital inspection reveals that the ruins are set into the wall of a rocky canyon. Should we investigate the ruins? Yes. Always investigate. Sometimes bad things happen, but always investigate. In the ruins of the city of Sol, we have found technology that has advanced our understanding of advanced nuclear fission. Alright, not exactly what we wanted yet, but if we look here under energy and construction, we've got some progress towards nuclear fission. It doesn't grant you straight up technologies, but it definitely, we'll say, increases, we'll say, the progress bar for those technologies. So our construction ship is building a mining station on this this chunk of metal asteroid, the Prize of Sol, which has a resource of dilithium crystal, and it's got a scenery bonus of 35%. That's cool. Alright, and our research bases have been constructed. Now, a lot of the early game, unfortunately, is going to be waiting, so I'm going to be doing, we'll say, a lot of, we'll say, editing out, we'll say, of the boring parts, or if I'm just sitting there thinking about what my next move is going to be, you know, I'll go ahead and edit that out. Alright, before we talk about the Forgotten City, our leader has increased their population growth skill level, so it's not a character trait, it's a skill he's gotten, you know, working at that planet, he's actually increased his skill now. That means our leader, if I recall correctly, any bonus he has applies to our entire empire. So as he gets better at colony growth, it means that our other colonies throughout the galaxy are going to improve as well. Alright, so we've discovered the Forgotten City, and indicate this, let's see, our sensors indicate that the ruins sit at the center of a shadowy starlit plain. Should we investigate the ruins? Yes! In the ruins of the Forgotten City, we have found a store of scientific knowledge from a vanished civilization. Though very difficult to decipher, the store of knowledge has given us enough understanding to begin researching the project Warp Field Precursors. The Warp Field Precursor project holds the promise of faster-than-light travel, opening up the galaxy to our exploration. Awesome! Now, I would jump immediately over to warp field precursors because it's a very, very useful, we'll say, technology to get. However, I want shields first. Shields are so important. We're actually going to hold off on space construction just so we can get our warp field precursors, and then we're going to go with space construction, and then we'll probably get actual proper hyperdrives after that. Actually, advanced nuclear fission sounds good. Yeah, we'll get that, and then we'll get proper hyperdrive. Alright, so as you can see, I've gone ahead and I've queued up a few different things. Energy collection actually should be another one I go for, so we'll go ahead and queue that up. And what that does is it basically allows you to put kind of like solar panels on your ship, so that you can, maybe we'll explain a little bit more how beneficial it is when we do an episode where I do, we'll say, ship design. But basically, normally your ships use fuel even when they're just sitting still. You know, they have to keep the energy going for the life support and everything. So what this does is the energy collector allows you to, you know, basically run those systems off of solar power so you don't consume as much fuel, which is really important for bases because mining stations and, you know, spaceports, they actually require fuel to keep running. So yeah, it's going to be important to get energy collectors to, we'll say, reduce our, we'll say, gas usage. Alright, and this is basically just a, I'm not going to read absolutely everything that comes up. We'll give you the gist. We built our first mining station. And that's because we left our construction ship to his own devices. We didn't give him any specific orders, so he's like, hey, this is a good mining location, so let's go ahead and build a mining base here. And right now he's decided he wants to build a mining station at planet Agigar. Give me some planet names, I'll rename stuff. But yeah, the more we play this game, or the more I played this game, the more I realize, you know, I just like this kind of experience. It's actually one of the kind of reasons why I got into Arma, was because of that, you know, the wide open area and the very strategic, but it's real time, and that really gripped me. But I'm not a big fan of, like, RTS normally, because I find they're too quick. I like slower, more thoughtful, you know, big picture kind of strategy games, but the fact that most of them are, pretty much almost all of them are turn-based, kind of made me sad, because I really like a real-time strategy game here. Alright, we've got 16,000... Oh, our scientists have made a critical breakthrough while researching armor plating. This breakthrough has initiated crash research program on the project. So, remember how I said you can sort of put the money into research to increase the research rate? Well, sometimes having scientists and stuff do things will initiate the crash project on its own. So we're researching armor plating at 3 times the speed, which is great. Now, I'm going to go ahead and upgrade my spaceport. Now, oddly enough, the only way... Like, actually, this took a little bit of experimentation, because I ended up building a small spaceport above a planet, and then I wanted a large one, and there's no options anywhere in the, like, the ships and bases screen to actually upgrade this to a large one. Actually, I don't think there is. Let me see. Retrofit. No, I can only upgrade it to, we'll say, a newer version of the small spaceport. So, you actually have to right-click, then choose retrofit, and then it will allow you to change the size. I'm actually going to go for the full-size one, the large spaceport. We're going to retrofit that up to a really big one. The reason why I went with the small one first is because it would take less time to go ahead and construct it initially, and then that allowed me to get my exploration ships out earlier, which allowed me to get my warp field precursors unlocked sooner, so that, you know, I could get, we'll say, a jump start on, we'll say, exploring the galaxy. And actually, okay, we have encountered a Lone Star ship. We have encountered a Lone Star ship in our system. It does not appear to be a hostile pirate, but rather an independent space trader. Could there be other ships like this? Might they help transport needed resources for us? Let's go to the event location and see where this thing is. So here we have this this ship that is outlined with white dotted lines. Now, it tells you that this is an independent, we'll say, transport ship, but I know better. This is how the pirates' smuggling ships appear. They appear as independents. They don't have the pirate markings. This is actually a pirate ship. So let's say we were actually short on a resource. I can actually go down here and assign a mercenary smuggling mission. So let's say, you know, I need a certain resource, but another empire's got a sort of a stranglehold on it. I can actually go ahead and click here and then choose what resource I need delivered here. And the pirates will go ahead and use their smuggling ships to deliver things to our planet. I'm not sure what this one is doing right now. I don't know its intent. Oh, it's transporting Kazlon. So what it's doing is it has a source of Kazlon, and the pirates need money as well, right? So if I'm right, if I'm correct, this ship here it went and got Kazlon and now it's dropping it off at our planet, or is it taking Kazlon from our planet? I'm not sure exactly what it's doing. I know it's transporting Kazlon, and that's about the extent of what I know. And Kazlon is the fuel that we use. Mining ship Wild Aaron is under attack from a space slug. So this is a privately owned ship. It's in the asteroid field, and it was trying to go ahead and get some resources, but we see this space slug is coming after it. So these guys have to sort of turn tail and run, lest they feel the wrath of the space slug. But it looks like they're sort of keeping their distance, and as such, the space slugs aren't messing with them too much. All right, we've completed research on armor plating. So now all of our ships can be equipped with armor plating. You know, I'm gonna make this a long episode where we're gonna try to touch on as many elements as possible here. So now that we've got armor plating, we need to put it on our ships. It's not like an automatic upgrade. So to do that, we're gonna go up to our design screen. And since I have everything set to automatic, it's basically already gone ahead and like right here where it says upgrade, it says automatic. So whenever there's a new technology that can create a new design of a ship, it will automatically go ahead and upgrade it. Why you would want to turn this to manual? Let's say you want a design to be a specific way. You know, I want more armor than would normally be put on. I could switch any of these designs to manual, and then the game would stop automatically, we'll say, detailing, we'll say, those ships. Now, I don't have retrofit. This is not really that applicable, because this is more relevant if you chose that you wanted we'll say the game to automate ship construction for you, and I want to take care of that myself, so retrofitting doesn't really play into this. Right now we're just looking at upgrade. So it's already gone ahead and upgraded it. We'll go ahead and prove this by looking at our exploration ship, our current generation of exploration ship. We'll double click on that, and we're gonna leave the automation on. Just let me look. And then now we can see sort of the components of the ship right here. So we've got a command center. These ships come standard with standard armor, ion thrusters, fuel cells, resource profile sensors. This allows them to detect resources on planet surfaces. Directional thrusters, basic space reactor, and a habitation module and life support. So each one of these components is on the ship, and that's what allows it to perform the way it does. And you have all the specs for this particular design of ship. Right here it says excess energy output. So basically, the Kazlon in the basic space reactor generates 39 points of energy. And you see right here, let's say for movement, if it wants to sprint, if it wants to go top speed, it needs 32 points of energy. So if you consider, you know, later on when we get shields or weapons, you're going to be wanting to subtract these numbers from your excess energy output to figure out, you know, if you have enough energy to operate everything at the same time. Does your ship only have enough energy to fire its weapons, or have enough energy to, you know, move quick but not fire its weapons? So that's something to take into account. Now, I talked a little bit about logistics and supplies earlier. Let's go ahead and just, for example, look at the small fuel cell. It tells you right there, size of 6. And remember, our maximum size is, I believe, 160. I think right now, yeah, we don't have the larger size just yet. And how much it costs, and there's the capacity. But if we go ahead and double click on it, I believe. Nope, I messed up. All right, sorry about that. I wanted to. I forgot how to check what I was trying to check. We want to go under Show Construction Summary, and what this does is it shows us what is needed to make our ship. So these are the components that are required. That's what we're trying to build, and it shows us to build our ship, to build this ship, we need 11 units of silicone, 12 units of gold, 13 of polymer, 64 of steel, 11 of carbon fiber, 7 of helium, and 3 of lead. So it shows us the total number of resources we need to just build this ship. You'll notice a lot of these components here are in orange, and that is there to tell us, it sort of gives us a warning that we don't have the necessary resources, we don't have a supply of these resources to continue constructing this for an extended period of time. You noticed on our home planet, we started off with a bunch of the starting resources, but we don't actually have a source incoming of these resources to build these components. So, like standard armor, if we go to show component guide, we need to make, we'll say 1 piece of armor, we need 5 steel. We don't have access to steel. So that's probably going to be part of our, we'll say, our expansion plan. We're going to try to find a place with steel and add that to our resource network. Actually, that screen actually brought up a nice little point. At any point during the game, you can press F1 to bring up, we'll say, the Galactopedia, which is basically an entire encyclopedia full of information of how to play the game. Also, throughout different parts of the game, you'll also see the yellow links, so I can learn about armor. If I click on that, it will bring up the Galactopedia entry on armor, which will explain that, and you'll have details on different components as well. So, a lot of good, we'll say, documentation in-game on how to play the game. But enough of that. We want to actually put that armor on the ship. This is just the design for the ship. If we look at the model here, that's EX2 Scout. If we look at our current exploration ships, where are they at? Right here, we have the Daring Empress and the Nova of Sol. So you can click on them from there, or we can go ahead and scroll through them from this menu here. See? And you'll notice the design model is EX1. So this model is the old model that does not have armor on it. So we can go ahead and individually select it, and then we can go ahead and click on, we'll say, the retrofit button, which we can't because we don't have enough money right now. If I would have paused the game, we could have done that. We can click on that. I believe you can go ahead and right-click as well on the ship to choose retrofit, or you can do so from the ships and bases screen by selecting all your exploration ships and then, holding a control to select them and then hitting retrofit. But we don't have the money right now, so we can't go ahead and do that, because those pirates are gouging us for every cent we have. Stupid pirates. Alright, and now we have our large spaceport. It has been finally retrofitted and switched up to, we'll say, the large spaceport. Unfortunately, it got retrofitted up to the old model of large spaceport, so this one does not have armor on it either. We'll need to find a way to get some money. So I may need to tax our citizens a little bit more than I wanted to. Sorry guys, we need the money. Actually, with that kind of cash flow, I'm not sure. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna think about it. This episode's already almost an hour long, but I wanted to have a very in-depth first episode so you guys kind of got to see a lot of the stuff. There's still tons to see. We haven't even encountered another empire yet, so there's still tons more to go, but I think that it's going to be kind of cool to see sort of like this sort of space opera type thing play out on my channel. That'll be kind of cool. So we're going to go ahead and end things here with me thinking about how to, we'll say, get some more money. If you have any name suggestions for planets, characters, ships, stuff like that, go ahead and let me know. Yeah. So if you like this content, would like to see more of it, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, leave it a thumbs down. It's alright. I'll probably keep playing anyways. Either way, let me know what you thought in the comments section below. And until next time, I'd like to ask you all to game on.